Guys, it's about that time. Thursday night call-in. Voice of College Football, West Virginia call-in show. Here I am. I'm here. Shane's here. Eric's here. And I'll tell you what, it's almost here, Eric.
What's that?
Football season. Preseason football's on. Steelers are playing. I'm talking to you, and we're, 9 days away from the Mountaineers kicking it off against Robert Morris.
Hell yeah.
Got good news. Christmas came early. I tried to do an AI Rich Rod with a Santa hat, but he looked demented. He looked like the god darn Grinch, and it did not translate well. And I just thought, no, this is not a good look for Rich Rod. He literally looked like the Grinch.
I remember when you put it in front of the focus groups, I was taking the statistics. It did not go well. Yeah.
I was looking for photos. I did find a picture of Rich Rod dressed as Santa, and you could just see his, he kind of has cheeks like me, and you see his eyes. It didn't look good. So, good news for the Mountaineers. We said it last week. We said it, Tuesday? Not even last week. Tuesday, we said they're going to get approved. And Sure enough, we talked in the blue and gold room for 30 seconds before the show. NCAA, dirty pool, shot over the bow. What'd they do, Eric? What do you think that dirty move?
And so you're talking about the notion of Jamori Robinson not being properly informed that he didn't meet his requirements for 6 credit hours, I think it was.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And according to the transcripts, when you look at the court transcripts, that specific question was asked, and there's this delay, and the NCAA representative says he should have known.
He should have known already. He didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. For example, I've never filed for financial aid before. Never in my life. I'm doing it for my kid. We show up and they act like you should know what to do. No, everybody needs help and needs to, it's just the way of the world. Ducks have to learn how to swim and they have to learn how to fly. People have to learn how to walk. It's just things aren't intuitive, and that's just dirty pool. It's not a good look. It actually backfired. It makes the NCAA look horrible. Now they're going to Congress saying, well, this is why legislation needs to be passed. Do you think they hold Jamori out as cautionary, or they hold him out? What do you think? What would you do as a coach if you're Rich Rod?
Well, you're the first year coach here. You've got to take some chances. And I think Rich did that before. Chris Henry wasn't exactly – Chris Henry was an amazing talent, freakish talent. Did things that have not been repeated since he was here. Went to the NFL and proved his talents there. Now, was he a risk? Yes, he was when he was playing here. But he showed that he could do what needed to be done. He could, comply with the rules. And his presence translated into results in the field. Got a lot of wins for us. Mm-hmm. If I am Rich and that staff, you've got a court order in hand. You've got nothing to lose. And if your downfall is the NCAA, we were just talking about this earlier. Even when the NCAA wins, they still lose. They typically, if they say you have to vacate wins, things like, no one remembers that. Why would we play by the rules when no one else is?
No, that's true. That's true. It's a moving. The NCAA seems to have a moving target, and it's almost like the shell game. It's like, where's the ball? Where's the ball? I don't know. This is a huge win for West Virginia and for college football. And if you're a middle-aged athlete that wants to play football. We joke about that. I don't like the fact that some of these guys are in their mid-20s, but with COVID, it does make sense because it's not fair. Because to their defense, they did not get recruited properly because some of these coaches didn't get to go out and recruit certain places. These kids weren't hiding under rocks. They just didn't get recruited for almost 2 years, 18 months. The world just came to a screeching halt, and these young men that are now would be, they were just missed. It was just missed time for them. So they went. Where did they go? They didn't just not play ball. They went to play JUCO. So yes, they did the right thing. They allowed them. The rulings went through, and now they allow those 2 years to be not counted against them, and thus we're at where we are in today's environment. These JUCO players still have a couple years left, and it's a blessing. My favorite is who am I going to say, Eric? Who's my favorite? Who jumps off the page? Jamari's could have went in the NFL draft last year.
Absolutely.
He'd been a third, fourth round guy, but he is a game changer. But
absolutely, I think he's a Bruce Irvin-like presence. I think he's going to be.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, there's a guy who's about 6'3", runs a
240.
240. Oh my God! Imagine that running up like a 2-hole, and you come up and you go to stop that, and you might have a little bit of ass under you and feel like you can do it at maybe if you're a middle linebacker and you're 230, and you feel good about yourself first, second quarter, third, fourth quarter.
You're making business decisions. Yeah.
Dad panda. Yeah, you're gonna have to have that old. See how my hood is? It reminds me of the old cowboy neck roll. Remember those cowboy neck rolls they had? You might have
epic
cowboy neck rolls out for that type of.
So who are you talking about?
Edwards, baby.
That's right.
Edwards. We got him. And we're going to go through our depth chart. The kind of thing we have as if I were to pull out where's my list here? Got my magic list? Oh, yeah, I have my magic list here. I got my list here, who I think is going to be West Virginia's depth chart. And Rich Rod held it up there, and we kind of saw some people paused it and kind of tried to figure out who the depth chart, who's really starting. But, those four guys, automatically, we talked about this for a brief second. If we're to go back in our magic time machine, go back a week ago, and we redoing the show we did last Tuesday, and we picked the Big 12 rankings, we put West Virginia. It hurts my feelings. We put them number 8, but would you put West Virginia number 8 with these four studs coming on to play?
I think the addition of these four players, and in particular the top two that we talked about, you've just added one win for sure. I don't see how you couldn't otherwise, barring any significant injuries. Yeah, I think you move up at least 2 spots, maybe 3. What do you think?
I think 1.5 wins. You can get a half a win, but let's just say one game's decided by a field goal. That goes West Virginia's way. One game's decided by a touchdown. That goes West Virginia's way. That's what I would say. 1 score and 1 field goal. I'll tell you
Let me ask. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying that in my opinion, West Virginia goes from 8, I'd say 6, maybe 5, 6 at least.
I agree with you, buddy. I'm right there with you. As we were doing the pre-show rehearsal, we got to cut back. Those take too long, 2-3 hours. I know this show is like seamless, but
yeah,
I don't know that we need to do that much. Anyway, going back to the 2005 era, 2005, 2007, think back to the games where, in particular, I'm going to jump to the offense.
Okay.
Where, we had the 3-headed rush monster of Pat, Steve, and Owen. And, teams never knew who was going to get them.
The holy
and exactly, you have 3 NFL talent players there. Now that's one thing, that you have 3 NFL talent, caliber running backs that you're facing in the collegiate, backfield. You've got that same kind of thing going on now. I'll take I'll take Jalen. I'll take Nico. They can both run that ball. Both stout runners. You put the speed back. Gosh, and now I'm drawing a blank. Jameel.
You got Diori Hubbard. I have him as the number 2 guy. Sincere Bowers is just pure splash bang fast. Ty Edwards would probably be the number 3 guy if he had been here for more than a freaking short minute. And then,
but who's our starting tailback? I can't get
White, Jaheim White.
Jaheim White. I'm sorry, that's the name I was looking for. Couldn't get it. But so you got speed. You've got the quarterbacks who can. I mean, they've got some running abilities, and then you've got Ty Edwards. You've basically recreated that 3-headed monster. And so the idea that we just got, that big, powerful running back who is probably more athletic than Owen was, but, a punishing runner, that right there is going to think about the games where we played back in 2005, 2007, where you had one of those 3 guys might not have been at 100%. And everybody would be talking like, oh, I don't know. This is the antithesis of that.
Next man
you
up.
Just added. No, you've just added a whole aspect. So those games that, like you said, might go one way or the other by a field goal. You've just picked up 2 wins right there. At least 1, maybe 2 wins, because you've got an added dimension that even if defenses can prepare for all 3 of those, you never know which one's going to get it. And that's the great thing about, Rich's offenses is that they're reads. They react to the defense.
That's spot on. You think about the last game, Texas Tech, or, a couple games from the end against Colorado. Those aren't gimmies because, you're late in the season. You're dinged up. You don't know what your chart's going to look like. You don't know who's going to be playing. You don't know who you're going to be, you don't know what the record's going to be, who you're playing. Texas Tech could be undefeated. They could be, 3-6. You don't know. But guys, it's exciting time. I mean, we are literally 9 days away. 9 days away. So, hey, if you have any questions, this is the call-in show. If you have any questions in the chat, hit us up. We'll make sure we put it on the screen. Coop is in the house. Athens in the house. Glenn Marshall's in the house. We're going to go through the depth chart, and you let me know if you guys think I am full of crap or if I'm kind of close. Because I swear, when Rich Rod held that depth chart up to his mouth, I did pause it, and I sat there and eyeballed it and tried to get in there as close as I could. And I do think that Nico is number 1 on his list, but he did say he has 3 guys that can play. Now, hear me out. They did a 1 through 15 of Big 12 quarterbacks, and Nico was down towards the bottom. Okay? Now, the Big 12 does have fantastic quarterback play compared to other conferences. I will say that. But Nico is competing against guys that have played in the SEC and started for teams like Florida, like Texas A&M, okay? Preston Fox was a blue chip high school recruit. These aren't bums. These aren't guys that just kind of showed up, like, hey, I'm thinking I'm going to throw the ball and maybe play on the practice team, get some gear and maybe some cleats. No, these are legit. Jalen Henderson played at Texas A&M and won a couple games. So with that, Nico's no bum. He's a good player. I don't think he's getting the love. Drake Toll on his show, I'm singing his praises before the game. He's on a competitor's channel, but he's a young dude. He has a great show. He's very bright. He was singing West Virginia's praises, and when another channel that's not a West Virginia channel, blows sunshine up my butt, I pay attention.
So let me jump on that glowing review there, but I agree with you. People forget, look, Nico's already got wins under his belt, and that is in a role where he was a backup, wasn't getting the snaps. wasn't getting, the repetitions in practice, he's already got wins. He's already proven he's a winner, both in a high level of high school play, but more importantly, he won in the Big 12. Now, mind you, to Neil Brown's credit, they did simplify the offense to help Nico out, as far as not asking him to do too much. But look, Nico didn't just go in there and hand the ball off. If you go back and look at film, Nico made some amazing throws. He made some throws where he was threading the needle. And so if for him to have done that in a role where he didn't have the reps, now that he's probably going to be getting a lot more, that's going to be amazingly helpful. Plus, he's in a role where he can do more than just be a pocket quarterback. Now, I know he ran a decent amount under Neil Brown's system, but that was because he had to.
Yeah, and I'm going to add to that. Neil Brown had a little bit of his offense wasn't quite as fast-paced. Nico's going to have to get rid of the ball quicker. So with that, it's kind of a double-edged sword. Can he get rid of the ball quicker? Yeah, I'm sure he can. But he has the option to run, which is great. But if he gets rid of the ball quicker, that's gonna open up the running game for him. Also, he's gonna have a lot more completions, I think. He's also gonna have to read the defense quicker. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I hope those are all big checks. He has that list and he's just checking it off, and they're all big successes. But I'm gonna go through here real quick. Running backs. You tell me if I'm on or off. I still have Jaheim White. I mean, even though Rich Rod, he has said every time, well, gosh, guys, these jobs, I don't have a depth chart. Come on, we know Jaheim White, it's his spot. He showed up to camp looking like a Greek god, like he took sculpture clay and just put muscle on. He looks like a unit, and he looks like he's just ready to rock. And if you saw any pictures, you know what I'm talking about. Did you see any pictures, Eric? What do you think?
Oh, heck yeah. He looked like he'd been feasting on secondary tiers. People are going to be Yeah, he just eats sadness in the secondary. And what is that? Oh, yeah. Oh, middle linebacker tiers. I'll have some more. Okay. That is nothing more than people saying, that sadness. That is going to be people saying, what just went by me? He is going to be so fast. And now that he's, like you said, he's got some sculpture to him, he's going to deliver some shots to people.
Yeah. He's going to add some lower back pain along with some twisted ankles, so breaking some ankles again in that backfield. So he could have just a huge year, and I just hope he does. But I love me some Jaheim White. Okay, give me a big slice of that in the pie. Okay, but I do want to see a couple other guys in the backfield. Diori Hubbard is a redshirt freshman, and I've heard that he's made some big gains this year in the weight room, and staff were so excited about him. And I mean, that's what I've heard. So I have him at number 2. But I mean, I could put Sincere Bowers there because he literally is Mr. Flash, Mr. Fast. I mean, his 40 time is just like 4.3. We haven't seen 4.3 in Slayton?
That's where I went to.
Austin?
And the running back?
Tavon Austin?
But not at the running back position, except for the Oklahoma game, which everybody remembers that.
Right. Sincere Bowers is legit speed. Now, Jaheim White is fast, and he's fast after contact, but Sincere Bowers is just legitimately, oh my gosh, I'm there, he's gone. Like, that guy has some top-end speed and speed after contact. And right behind him, and I think Edwards would be ahead of him just because of the fact that he has so much ass and he's so big, is Ty Edwards.
But now I know that Rich made the joke about do we have fullbacks in our offense? I love when Rich plays games like that. You know damn well he's going to.
Well, if Ty Edwards isn't a fullback, he's a halfback and a half
Yeah,
because he is like he has a cheeseburger shy of a fullback.
yeah.
If he's 235 pounds, he's 240. He is a huge man. His thighs are as big around as my waist. This guy is huge.
Have you
And
seen his film?
yes, yes, he
It's
jumped.
crazy.
He looked like DK Metcalf when he jumped straight up. Like he didn't even take us. He just went straight up in the air. I don't know how that works. It looked like he got shocked. Did you ever see like animals get shocked by electric fence and it just goes straight up? It looks like someone shocked Ty Edwards and he went right up in the air. It's amazing.
Go watch Eric Dickerson film if you can't find Ty Edwards film. And they're the same. It doesn't make sense somebody that big could be that fast while running straight up and down. And I think it's going to be another compliment to Jaheim because Jaheim's got a good low stance when he runs. And to me, Jaheim is fast, but more than fast, he's quick.
Yeah.
He will make cuts. He will get through holes, and it happens in a hurry. Now, maybe his top end speed isn't going to be 4.3, maybe not. But I hope they can get Bowers there. Again, we've got a stable of running backs. We've been saying this for a while now. And I think in particular, they've got different things to bring to the table. And if you can put that multitude of talent on the field at one time, defenses, it's hard for them to react. Which one are they going to have to deal with on a given play?
Yeah, it's Ty Edwards and Eric Dickerson. The only difference is those goggles. Ty Edwards doesn't have those what's that movie with Stallone and all of those like old 80s stars with Schwarzenegger and anyways, there is a movie where they have all the action stars, and that's kind of what I feel like with this backfield. You have every action star that ever came out, and to add the icing on the cupcake with the sprinkle is Tyler Jacklich, which we just added last week, and he is your backup plan. He's like the cleaner, and what a great backfield to have. And then of course you got Andre Devine there too. So that's the backfield. I don't know. Let's go to chat and see what the folks have to say. Okay, Chris Mitchell. The judge put an injunction against the rule of restitution, so the NCAA shouldn't be able to come back and punish WU if Robinson becomes ineligible later in the season. That's what I read too, but I just was wondering if they could still come back and try to make him ineligible in some other way. But that seemed like a what do they call it? Retribution or something like that, or some way they put it in there. But
I agree with Chris. What do you have to lose? It's great.
Expendables. That's it, Chris Mitchell. Thank you for helping us out.
Yeah.
Expendables. That's right. I was trying to think of that. It was the tip of my tongue. Son of a gun. But that's basically, it's like the Expendables. Everywhere you look, there's a star. It's like, hey, I know that guy. It's Jet Li. Wait, Bruce Willis. White ran a 4.4 after having offseason. That's right, Glenn. It was 4 months after his surgery, he ran a 4.4. I mean, I had surgery and I did all my rehab and I couldn't throw a football with my kid until like 18 months later. I mean, I'm not like I'm an old man, but still, I was rehabbing like a fiend.
Do you have any eligibility left?
No.
Oh.
No, just saying. Guys, it's crazy. That is crazy. That is. And he's probably fast, a little bit faster than that, a hair faster than that now. But let's get to the wide receiver room, okay? Because it's still Rich Rod was tooting his own horn about his receivers, and he doesn't usually toot his own horn, right? That doesn't sound very good. Jaden Bray.
Yeah.
Can he stay healthy?
He's always been a little slight of build. How's that? Is that the right way to say that?
Yeah, fragile. Yeah, you know, I let's cross our fingers because he's a hell of a good athlete. Let's just
Mm-hmm.
Justin Smith Brown. Uh, a lot of guys in the West Virginia media are super high on him. You know, he came out of South Carolina State and he has some nice video out there, but you know, coaching staff's high on him too. So he's high on my list. Next on Shane's list is Jeffrey Weimer, who was also on the list, the judges list this week, right? So what do you think? I think he's a good option, second option at receiver. But here's one that all the fans are gonna love. This guy came out of retirement. He literally
I was waiting for this, buddy.
He came out of retirement. He has a name that just sounds West Virginia. What is this? His second senior year, like he's Burt Kreschler. Preston Fox. He's that old so and so. It makes you feel good when you see that guy. You know, he's the only guy on there that's been here since since the first Trump administration. I expect Fox is still. He can still catch a ball, you know, and he's a hell of a special teams player. He was the best. Was it punt returner or kick returner in the Big 12?
I thought it was punt.
Was it punt or kick? Yeah, thank you, Afton. And Afton, I think, and Afton, was that on the Steelers channel that I'm on? Was that a sausage or? I think that was a hot sausage that identifies as a hot dog. I think Afton's going to know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I took some time off my other channel and they tried to replace me with a guy in a hot dog costume. That's how much they think of me on the Steelers channel. I'm on here doing it. They probably have a hot dog on there doing my spiel. Frickin' bonehead Pittsburgh people. Can't trust Pittsburgh people.
No.
Pitt.
Now, you sure it's not a kielbasa?
Might be a kielbasa. You misidentify any kind of meat that's in a bun, and you're in trouble. You're in trouble, mister. Nowadays, you know they're all delicious though. You don't
discriminate.
Don't discriminate. I love me some processed meat in bread. Put some peppers and onions on it. Tailgate, an Old Natty, and it's going down my gullet. I just
amen.
You know, so pepperoni rolls. Let's get to some serious West Virginia shit. Okay, let's talk about it, guys. Pepperoni rolls. Do you put butter and garlic on a pepperoni roll? That sounds like some blasphemy. It's like a cheat code.
I myself, I can't bring myself to do it, but Afton. But I got to say, you know, I think it's like freedom of expression. You got to let people be able to do that. But myself, no, I'm not doing that. I can't do that.
What about, okay, here's the thing. I'm not hating on spaghetti sauce or tomato sauce on a pepperoni roll. That's for rich people. If you have a jar and if you have the energy to pour it out and have someone dip, go ahead and rock it. But anyways, back to football. Let's talk a little bit about the defense. Big news. Okay. We talked about him earlier. We're going to talk about him again. Okay. Jamori Robinson. Okay. He was the AAC Defensive Player of the Year. That is, I mean, this cat could be playing in the NFL, like literally trying to make a squad this right now as we speak. He probably would have been a third or fourth round pick, but that's how good this guy is. And West Virginia gets him, and he's going to be starting. Do you disagree, Eric?
How do you not start him? No. Now, I know he hasn't been able to practice with the team. I mean, those four players weren't allowed to practice. However, I think they were allowed in the building. They were allowed access to information. They could hit the weight room. They could do all sorts of things where they could learn and prepare. They just couldn't be on the field in uniform practicing with the team. That being said, you and I talked, as part of the 2 hour walkthrough of the show, that at this level, these guys, they are game players. You throw a jersey on them, it's kickoff. They don't even need to get taped. You just throw the jersey on. They know what to do. They know how to fit themselves into the system, and they just have an instinct for it. So hell yeah, Jamori. We said it earlier. He's going to take us to a different level. I think without him, our defense would have been okay, but with him in there, it's going to be like having a Bruce Irvin presence in there.
That's a good analogy. Now, the yin to Jamari is Braden Siders. Now, Braden Siders came from Wyoming after Jamori. We kind of figured out Jamori might not be able to play. He would. I think he would have just slid right in and played for him. I didn't think he had quite the depth or dimension that Jamori had. But he would have been a good edge rusher. I think he had 14, 15 sacks during his career, but he would have been a good option. I think he was insurance. Now that Jamori's back, I don't think you'll see as much time, but I think he's serviceable. I think you'll see some time. Also, Curtis Jones Jr. He's a bandit. He played a little bit, mostly with special teams. Marshawn Oxley was a Colorado State guy. Keenan Eck, he's a Citrus College guy. Don't know much about that cat. I just have him on my list here. Now, talk about some nickel and Sam. We have some guy a couple years ago that came in from Minnesota by the name of Beanie Bishops, playing for the Steelers. That's a high mark to set, and that's kind of what we're praying for with Fred Perry, right? So Fred Perry's here. Hopefully, he'll be on the field a lot, and he can move and fly around, and he's going to be playing like what do they call the boundary safety, and he'll be taking a lot of snaps. And cross your fingers that Fred Perry's going to be playing a lot. William Davis is another cat that's going to be getting some time. I think he'll be backing up Fred Perry, but I don't know, guys. Harrington might be in there too. As the season goes on, you might see more of him. But those are my guys at defense. That's who I have on my list. I don't know who's going to be kicking. I don't know that stuff. That's all I got from my little cheat sheet, and that's what I got, kids.
So Shane, if you don't mind, I got a couple questions for you, and I'd love to see what the listeners would think. I think our secondary is going to be greatly improved. So you kind of started touching on that. I think we've added significant talent back there, and that's important because if you have a secondary you can trust, you don't have to help them out, as far as applying pressure to the quarterback and to the run. And, those two feed off each other. I think that's going to be critical because, in particular, Zach Alley really wants to pressure the quarterback. He's all about blitzing packages. I would love to hear from the folks at home. You didn't mention one receiver's name.
Who?
And I'm wondering, well, let's put it this way. He's a local fella.
Okay.
One of the first early birds to get an NIL in high school.
Oh, who is it? Who did I miss? I might have just had a brain fart.
Gallagher?
Oh, Rodney Gallagher III, son of a gun. He's on my list.
Okay.
Come off. Now, Rodney Gallagher has been around a minute. What do you think? You think he's going to see some time?
How could he not? I think he's had.
Yeah.
I think he's had the talent and the gifts. But
Yeah.
I think this could be a breakout season for him. Um, just like with Jaheim. I mean, Jaheim's freshman year, I think he was forced into a role, and I think he kind of came onto the scene in such a way that there was a great need. They were able to adapt the offense to put him in good positions to do good things. I think we could see things like that happen for Gallagher,
Mhm.
but we have so many good receivers. Like honestly, this year's offense, and you never know with Rich. Rich is so good about keeping people guessing.
Right.
This reminds me of the '98 team where I was seriously wondering we're going to have to play with two balls because one football on the field at one time isn't going to be enough to spread it around. And Rich has even said that if he can, he's going to play everybody because
Yeah,
he knows that's one way to keep people.
he made that comment over and over. He said this, and I thought this. Back when I rode motorcycles, I'd take kids to go like, hey, you know about bikes? Take me to the Harley dealer and let's look at them. First thing I say is, you want to ride it or look at it? And that's just it. Is it going to be a trailer queen or are you going to ride it? And he's going to ride the wheels off these kids. He's like, I'm not saving these guys for other coaches.
Why?
He's going to ride the wheels off these. He's going to stick Nico's nose into the chest of some of these guys. Because guess what? He's got Henderson. He got a couple other cats.
Jalen, he's got Jalen. Yeah. He said he's got three quarterbacks he could win with. And you said something there, and I keep going back to Moneyball. This is now the kind of environment where you have to look at what you're paying players and their value. Because for lack of better comparison, with limited resources, if you're paying somebody and you're not getting value out of them, no. Your fans are going to question, your GM is going to question, and rightfully so, because at that point you're going to have to pay players to keep them. So you're going to see who's going to produce, and like you said, Rich is going to ride the wheels off these guys. Now, does that mean you're not going to have one or two feature players? No, this is Rich. He is going to run people ragged, but as soon as they start to lose a step or maybe they aren't quite as crisp, come sit on the bench, grab the oxygen mask. We got somebody in there filling in for you. And by the way, this would be a great time to feature other folks. That's exactly it. Hot hand.
That's what he uses. Old Rich Ross says, yeah, if someone has a hot hand.
Yep. But with that in mind, this could be a new era of, when we saw the transition from ball control offenses to wide open air raid type offenses, where the scores went from, baseball scores to basketball scores. We could be leaning back towards the basketball scores again. And with the way our defense should be able to pressure people, man, this could be this again. We've mentioned it before here on the podcast. This is going to be a great year to watch and learn. There are so many interesting storylines, everything from the players to the transfer portal. Look, Rich is a master. He did it the last, couple schools he was at. In particular, the last school he was at, he won relatively quickly and won a championship in his second year. And you do that by learning the transfer portal, learning how to adapt your system for players. You combine that with the notion of NIL deals. There's just a ton of stuff going on here.
Yeah, he won a lot of, like his stat I looked up for Tuesday's show. I was surprised that a lot of his really good teams had a really favorable turnover margin. That 2006, 2017, their turnover margin was unheard of. You wouldn't think that a team with Slayton but the defense was turning the ball over. Like, Mike Moretto and those guys were just getting after the ball, making plays. Zach Alley, I think, has those guys, the talent to do that. If Jamori Robinson can be that pressure on the edge, I'm just hoping they have cornerbacks that can hold tight and make some of those plays. That's the question mark for this team. I'll tell you what, this has been a great show. This has been a fun one. I can't believe that I got you for 2 days in a row, and I'm hoping I have you for Monday.
Well, we're going to talk about my NIL, and man, I appreciate you renegotiating my contract.
Yeah.
But man,
Yeah. Well, right now it's fuel perks at Giant Eagle, and two-door biscuits and back rubs and tummy tickles. That's what I have written in the list here, and I'm not giving you anything more. But no, we're going to stay on here for a little bit, talk a little bit about football. Now, college basketball is coming around too. We're going to chat a little bit about that, not tonight, but maybe next Thursday. We're going to do maybe 3 or 4 minutes on it. It's poo-pooed on this channel because it screws up the algorithm, but we have to talk a little bit about it because we love our West Virginia sports in general. We got someone in the chat, Chris Mitchell. Rich Rod plays counts are high enough to get lots of guys in, unlike Brown's slow, drawn out stuff. That is a very, very accurate and true statement. His tempo is so fast. To put that into reality, go look on YouTube. There is the replay of the Sugar Bowl. Go in and watch that, and watch at the end of the first quarter. West Virginia has the ball. The offensive line, the clock, stops. You hear the gun. They just run to the other end of the field. It looks like Georgia's head just explodes. Like, what the hell are they doing? Where are they running to? It's just a different mentality, and it shows. That's why they won that game. Georgia outplayed West Virginia in the second half, but West Virginia hung on because of just that attitude, energy, and then Rich Rod had some big balls and freaking faked that punt. But
hey, Chris is killing it. I mean, especially Chris is killing it with the commentary. Good stuff, Chris.
Yeah, good stuff, Chris. Thanks for coming on.
Now, and thanks too, by the way. Speaking of, thanks for not making a comment about my comment about playing with 2 balls. So I appreciate you not jumping on that.
No. But no, guys. Hey, guys. So our shows are pretty standard. Mondays at 9 here on the Voice of College Football. The West Virginia call-in show is every Thursday at 8 p.m. The West Virginia live show is every Monday at 9 p.m. So you can catch us twice a week. We put out videos here and there, snippets from our shows. Voice of College Football. If you like college football, this is where you get it. And Eric and me, hey, we love college football, and we're here at least a couple times a week. So catch us, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in, and I'm going to see you out with the great state of West Virginia flag. As always, let's go Mountaineers.